I would like to keep myself grounded. I don't want to forget where I came from, and I definitely do not want to forget the people that have helped me get there and helped us grow this business. I am your host, Jason Julius, and today we are doing our first official episode of Off the Rails, and I did in one of my Q&JPs, I put a teaser out there for a new format or segment that I would be adding to this podcast. The Off the Rails segment is meant to, I don't know, just get into a little bit more of a social, country, world, whatever issues might actually make its way to the table for discussion. And I've got my co-hosts here today. I've got a full crew. I got Dawn, the bougie blonde, and Matt Bradshaw, Master Blaster, and the galactic demigoddess Trish. Did I get that right, or is it? I got it right. Okay, so okay, yeah, you give me a little bit of clap, Okay, so as I said, this is Off the Rails, and Off the Rails is a chance for us to bring a headline to be discussed. So this is the no rules, anything goes. We're going to go around the table.
So we should tell them the date then, right?
The date? Well, that's fine, because I did classify or clarify with the bougie blonde that, like, if you're going to bring a headline, you at least need to read the article itself or whatever.
And she's getting a phone call.
Yeah, I know. That's
in the first 60 seconds.
Because she didn't think to actually silence her phone for, a podcast is supposed to be technically for superior audio, even though we are doing the video version as well. But any which way, I'm sure that as we're going through this, if you've got a headline, it would behoove of you to at least know what the headline was, so that if it's one of those weird ass headlines or a fake headline, that you can at least add a little bit of context upon questions, because this could literally go any direction at all, and I'm hoping that some fun comes out of it. And I was a smart ass. I told them that because the bougie blonde decided that she was going to tell them what my headline was, then I was like, no, I'm gonna put mine out first. But I won't. I will reserve my headline for last. And we will start with the bougie blonde, Dawn.
Well, first of all, in my defense, you didn't tell me not to tell.
Oh, so apparently I got to classify that it is classified.
Yeah, you need to definitely classify.
So it was TMI. I shared too much information with you, and I'll keep that in mind. I should have known.
Usually that's not the case.
Okay.
But usually you don't share enough information with me. But,
okay.
So, wow, I didn't want to be first.
Yeah, no, you're first. We're clockwise. We're going to
that's rarely in the podcast.
Exactly. So
I prefer to be behind the scenes. But anyway, so my topic is going to be about Matt Ryan. He was just signed with the Colts. Are you aware of that?
No, I'm gonna be honest. I gave up football a couple of years ago for very specific reasons. But I don't know who Matt Ryan is. But I do. The thing is
Matty Ice?
I have no clue. I was a hardcore 49ers.
He beat
I was a diehard 49ers fan for a good 20 years. And it was always, support your home team. So I've always supported the Colts in general. And for a good clip of my life, I really did love football. But no, I don't. You say Matt Ryan? I don't.
Matt Ryan. He was the quarterback for Atlanta Falcons. And the Colts just picked him up.
They were pretty good there for a time, weren't they?
Yeah, he's been pretty solid for a while.
So why'd they dump him?
I don't really know.
I don't know that either. I don't know that they dumped him or if the Colts just offered him
they pretty much
mad
dumped
money
him.
to come.
That's what I was about to say. Is I'm sitting there going, as far as I know,
1 third-round draft pick is all we gave him for.
Oh, okay. So they dumped him.
I guess they did. Maybe.
Well, we took over his contract, and he had a pretty hefty.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and I don't want to get because I'm not expecting his full bio, but I'm sitting there going, Is he early in his career, late in his career?
This is
Is he-
his 14th year, maybe.
Okay, so he's starting to wind down, but so we picked
36.
up the Colts picked up a veteran quarterback to carry the load till they could find
Yeah, I mean, he's
the
been
next generation.
He had the biggest Super Bowl loss there to the Patriots, where they were ahead by like 50 points and still lost.
Ooh, that's kind of that's
that's
a
bad,
brutal
but-
to your ego to carry that around.
Yeah, but besides that, I mean, he's got him to the playoffs every year, NFC Championship a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So something, especially when you consider what Luck did. I mean, because the whole thing that I understood about Luck was that he waited to announce his retirement until after all of the seats had been sold for the year. And then once the seats had been sold for the year, then he come out and he was like, yeah, I'm not playing now, which...
Right. Well, I mean, his dad was also the commissioner of the opposing league, so I think the NFL kind of forced Luck out, but...
Really? And again, I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of
I'm just a fan.
No, again, that's what I was about to say. I'm looking towards you on this because I'm like, you have a little bit more of a in-depth knowledge about this because I know that you still are very much a fan.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting our 5th quarterback in 5 years, so that's usually never good, but
we had Peyton Manning,
we did.
and yeah, I mean,
And Andrew Luck was good.
was he? I say was he because I
was.
really
I mean, it was a solid
at that point I really didn't pay
5
much
years.
attention. I didn't. Oh, so he was there for 5 years. Okay.
It might have even been 6. I don't know. He was there. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
No, as far as I knew, though, I mean, Andrew Luck was like championing mental health issues.
Correct.
Okay, so I knew that there was like he had a side pet project that he was more than just
I
football.
mean, he got hit a lot. So,
he championed mental health issues because he might have concussions. Okay, I mean that's
he had a lot of
it was a very real hit home issue.
I think he
Pardon the pun.
exploded his kidney once. He exploded his gallbladder from getting hit.
Oh
So,
wow!
like,
So he took some big hits. That's,
yeah, when your organs are exploding, I'm
Pretty
assuming
sure
that then we'll turn to a mental health issue of like, is that guy going to hit me?
Wow.
right.
Okay, so you brought the headline. So this has got. I mean, did it fascinate you? Is this just or did it have meaning to you?
I'm a Colts fan, obviously, and so I thought that instead of politics, which I would go crazy on, that I would bring something else to the table other than politics.
Well, and
I'm
again,
sure we're going to get there when it comes back to you.
Sooner or later, we'll get there because I mean, this off the rails segment it'll go many different directions. And when inevitably our government does something stupid, it'll make headlines, and it will find its way into the segment sooner or
Sometimes
later.
the government does some stuff right, though.
Can you
yeah, right.
name? I'm not
Yeah, I
familiar
don't
with.
even see, and here we go. As it
Eventually,
turns out.
I will have my headline.
Yes, yeah.
I'm sitting there going, it has not. The Trish has not weighed in on this at all.
I ain't got shit to say about none of this right now.
No, but because you're not even in the microphone. You gotta.
That's okay too, but I'm not. No, I don't know anything about football.
Straight in the base. There you
So
go.
I don't want to speak on something I don't know anything about.
Okay, you gotta turn the whole.
we go.
No. You gotta turn the whole base towards you. Yeah,
There we
it's a
go.
counterbalance.
Fancy,
Yeah,
schmancy.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so you have nothing to add to this.
Nope.
Okay, so Dawn, does this make you happy? I want to make sure that
Well, yes,
if we
I'm
cap
so
this
thrilled
off,
about
that
this. Like,
you.
actually, no, I'm not. I'm not done. I mean,
Oh,
I
okay.
can tell you some numbers here.
No, go ahead. By ahead.
According to ESPN's Phil Yates, the Colts have converted 12 million of Ryan's 2022 compensation into a signing bonus, creating 6 million of cap space.
So they just cut him a check for $12 million.
That's what it sounds like.
Damn.
Well,
I mean, like,
Apparently.
damn. That's his
that
agent's
obviously-
happy.
But that
it
leaves money to
reduces
give
Ryan's
people.
cap number to just over 18.7 million for the coming season.
That's just crazy, man. That's just crazy.
$19 million for $1 million a game.
Well, and the only thing that it's like I don't envy it. I mean, like because it's like that's the modern day gladiator. But I mean, on the other end of it, you really gotta. I mean, you're paid big bucks to play a game.
To get hurt too, like I mean.
There's
you're gonna
risks.
have-
There's risks to every. Yeah,
Yes, but you're
you
gonna
walk
get
down the side of the road, you
hurt.
risk getting hit by a car. So I mean, it's like I get that, but I mean, it's you're able to play. You're able to still be a kid and be paid very well to be a kid. I mean, that's. I realize it's a high stakes being a kid, but you're still going out onto a football field to throw a ball around and get paid a lot of money to do it. That's not a
money.
yeah.
There was also an exploding kidney involved. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. We got a way better offensive line now.
He's hoping.
No, we do.
Okay.
Sorry, Luck.
But he was with Atlanta for 14 seasons.
Okay.
So
this is his 15th year.
This will be his.
It would be like the Broncos picking up Peyton Manning and still being able to run it to the Super Bowl. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wouldn't you just shit if Tom Brady came out of retirement and came to the Colts and had 3 teams?
We wouldn't do that.
Yes, you say that. We
would not.
Money talks. I don't
care how much money was involved.
But he did complete 67% of his passes last season for like 3,968 yards with 20 touchdowns and 12 interceptions.
Yeah, but isn't a good season for a quarterback like 4,000 passing yards?
Yeah, last season was his worst season.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's it.
But he was just under that 4,000.
No, he only missed by 1,000.
Well,
that's a 25% miss.
No,
but
3,968
Oh,
yards.
okay.
He lost both of his main wide receivers last year.
Really? Okay.
So he had no-name people.
Wow. Exactly. Okay, well, we're not going to beat this to death. That's sort of, thank you. I learned something new today. I generally, I don't pay attention to sports anymore. One, I don't got the time. It just does not feed my soul the way it used to. But if it makes you happy, well, then hey, I'm happy for you. So to make you happy as well, Matt?
Well, he's a Matt, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Obviously that's
Matthew
all.
Stafford won this year, and hopefully Matt Ryan can win next year.
Absolutely. Okay. I have faith in him.
Maybe I'll get in there the year after that. I don't know.
Wow.
I would love that.
Okay, so Trish has had nothing to say in this, so I'm going to hop over because there would be ladies first. So the galactic demigoddess. What headline are you bringing to the table today?
So I am trying to seek peace, and I don't want to hear a bunch of bullshit about politics because I know how that's going to go. So
I do not have a political head. It could very well be kind of twisted that way a little bit, but I don't really have a political headline.
Just for the record, I have no idea what your headline is because I wasn't listening when she was talking about it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So my title, they bought a Caribbean island to start their own country.
Man, I love that. I love that.
So this is the reason why I chose it is because the first thing that caught my eye was tongue-in-cheek experience. And I feel like that just resonates with you. So this would be a good conversation.
You're not allowed to start your own country.
Well, technically, go to letsbuyanaisland.com. Gareth Johnson is the co-founder and CEO of the project. They're calling it micronations. And for each share, it's approximately $3,250, up to 100 shares. But no matter how many shares you get, you're only allowed for 1 vote. It's basically like a Democratic Party involved. They vote on everything pretty much.
So you're telling me I can, for $3,000, I can buy a share?
And this is why I'm telling you about
this. Yes. Do tell more.
So with this, as I was saying, they would call them micronations. It's outside of Belize. They call it Coffee Kai, which I thought was pretty cool too.
Man.
And it's a nation building project. And what they would do is basically they go to extreme destinations that claim de facto independence from surrounding countries. So you can go in there even for a little bit more money, which I thought was kind of cool. You can just call yourself Lord or Lady. So you pay a little bit more money and you can become a lord of the country where you're from. They support the purchasing citizenship. So if you want to, you can go ahead and invest and become a citizen of their country. And then they take that money and help build on. They're doing stuff like small container boutiques. And their biggest thing right now is trying to make
This is like sure Atlas Shrugged. I just found a place to fucking disappear to.
Yeah. And right now they have investors in over 25 different countries. It falls in line right now with Belize laws and borders. But
because that's crooked shit right there.
Right. So what they're trying to do is get these people to come in. They want to revamp the coral reef around there. They want to sustain the ecosystems. And then with these other people coming through, they're going to vote and see there's really no one person in charge. Everything is just going to go in with voting. They're looking for other investors. So if you are interested, it is letsbuyanaisland.com.
The thing is, though, is I'm sitting there going, again, the Belize government is crooked as fuck.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
So I'm like, they can roll in there and be like, we run this show. Exactly. Again, how are you able to claim your independence? Because does it even say how many acres this island is?
It doesn't have it specifically in here, but we can of course look it up. Because we looked at the pictures and
I mean, if you're really going to put this out to investors, you got to be talking like several 100-acre island.
It's not real large.
so like there's the island itself.
Okay.
And then like
So
all
that
this-
looks like, I'm going to be honest, just from the island I got off of, I'm saying that looks like that's about 40 acres.
maybe so.
Okay.
So when you go, like I said, there's nothing in there. It's basically just water. The investors right now there are camping out in tents because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah. Oh, well, they got to build.
Well, yeah, obviously, but there's like nowhere they can go on the island to stay. So they just brought their camping equipment.
Just
like, okay, we're just gonna rough it out.
Wow. But I'm sitting there going like, what does that one share get you? Is it a timeshare? Because think about this on scale. Let's say you get 1,000 people and they're like, hey man, I'll pony up $3,500 for one share. I promise you a 40-acre island does not even accommodate 500. I mean, like it doesn't, I don't even know that a 40-acre island, I mean, I guess it probably could
depends on the
accommodate
building.
100.
It depends on
But my
the
point,
hotel.
let's just go with 100. And 100 is going to be tops. But then you're also going to be creating a whole lot of waste. And then you're going to have to be bringing in food resources and shelter and electricity. And so I'm like, well, what happens to the 35? Like there, who's the kingpin that is actually collecting the $3,500? Who's regulating
The owner of this company.
this corporation? Exactly. There's more to this than meets the eye.
Well, I definitely would want to pay to be called queen. I mean,
You feel me? That's what
Not
I
queen.
said too. I
Lady.
can be lady any day. So,
oh, there's no queen? Oh, it's just lady.
Yeah, it says Lord and Lady.
but
Dang.
what we could do is, it says here that this little island was only purchased for $180,000. Just thinking we could invest in something like this. We could have our own island.
Can I get a computer first?
Well, I will.
I'll buy you a laptop if you buy this an island.
I will
Fair
say
trade.
that I have visited 2 islands outside of Belize. I've been on Amacrest Kaya Island and Keycocker Island, and it is a very, very poor area. I was talking to Trish earlier about that when she told me her subject, which is always fascinating.
So you won't have a problem finding labor to actually build, but then you're talking about literally needing to get concrete mix and I mean a whole bunch of heavy equipment and
Can you make concrete with salt water?
I don't know. I do know. That's
Comment and let us know.
yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. No, but
I mean, more to the point, when you do really start thinking about the logistics of it, like legitimately, that island looks like, I mean, it ain't no more than 40 or 50 acres. The island that I got off of there, I mean, that's enough, especially if there is some legitimate high ground to build a couple quote unquote mansions that could definitely house a couple dozen people, but that shit ain't cheap. I mean, you think about buying housing to house a couple dozen people in America in general, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars. To move those resources out to an island to start building out there and be
Shipping
hurricane
container
proof.
homes.
That's what they were talking about, shipping container, like boutiques and things like that.
Buy the container, design it, set it up here.
Yeah.
Ship
I do
it over
know
there.
that the biggest problems they had there, like some of what I witnessed there on the other islands, which I don't know how far apart this one is from the ones that I went to, but they have a huge problem getting trash off the island.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm sitting there going. You think about the
bury
waste
the dead above ground because obviously you can't bury.
on a rock. That's
I mean, so anybody that dies is buried above ground, and I actually have photos of all that because I documented the whole thing when I was there. But so trash removal is a huge problem for them there. Somehow there's always animals that are starving and.
no, I got to be
running
honest.
around. It's a third world country,
for me to
so.
get involved with an island like that, no, I would just want the whole damn island.
Right, for
That's-
$180,000.
For $180,000, knowing that you're probably going to end up putting a couple $1 million into it to actually.
Which is why you would get it closer to the British Virgin Islands. So you're in a more civilized area than towards Belize.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Because they
I
have
guess
some
that's-
really messed up
okay.
laws.
Could you imagine creating a micronation for Jason Julius?
Don't get me started. I really could. I could.
Lord Julius up on his throne.
Yes. Again, I go back to that whole Atlas Shrugged. I would be like, you come on this island, you earn your shit. Nothing is for free. You want to live here, work, you're going to earn it. No, there will be no handouts. Okay, so do we have any more that we want to add? We want to add to this topic before we move on to Mr. Matt Bradshaw.
I think I'm the only one here who hasn't been on an island.
Oh.
So.
Well, that's probably because Jason doesn't give you time off.
That's correct.
And then he didn't let you go to Pizza Expo.
That is also correct.
That is not fair. That is so
Please leave your comment to beg Jason to give Matt some time off.
This is not fair. This is not fair.
He needs to see an island, for the love of God.
Oh my God. I can't believe.
Did you hear them? I need to see an island.
I can't believe it. This is not fair. I mean, like,
It is fair.
because for the record, like, I
had
had the plane tickets purchased, I had the hotel reserved, we had the events, and then it happened and it fucked everything all up.
That was 2 years ago.
Yes.
They had it later that summer.
Oh.
I'm not going anywhere. I got to wear a damn mask. And they shut down the buffets, and that's half the reason to go to
Buffets
Vegas.
is a real problem.
Okay, there we go. Now it's like, yeah.
But buffets were open last year.
I'm not, no, it's just like, I'm not conforming. I'm not.
And the buffets were definitely open this week.
Were they open this week? Because they, as far as I knew, that they had like shut them back down and.
Nah, they're back open.
Yeah, okay, that's.
Well, then I suggest you reschedule that.
It's too late.
It's got to be done with. It's got to be done during the Pizza Expo, because part of the whole thing with him
and 90 minutes
is that
Pizza Expo ends.
Yes, because
And here
he
we are
has
in
been
Indiana.
he has worked for other people, and he's known about this Pizza Expo for a while, and nobody had ever taken him. And I was like, I will take you to the Pizza Expo. So the
Promise
whole
is broken.
The event has to be, the trip has to be when the actual Pizza Expo is going. So
Gotcha.
2023.
yes.
Or bust.
Yeah.
No. We can drive the bus.
I'll go, but we're not going.
Oh, whatever. Okay, so Mr. Bradshaw.
Moving on.
Yes.
Right on.
What's your headline? What are you bringing to the table?
Indiana, Holcomb just signed in the law. You don't need a permit to conceal carry anymore.
Yeah. Okay. That's.
Which was also what you were going to bring up. Thanks, Dawn.
Yeah.
That was accidental.
It's better than my other topic. So
I kind of liked your other topic too. But
I think that would go to hell in a handbasket quickly.
yes, it would.
There's almost a certain amount of curiosity, but it was the topic I was going to bring to the table.
except everybody at this table already has their permit. So I mean, I guess it's not that big for
Oh,
us.
no. But I mean,
But
this has been a topic of conversation in general, because I believe very strongly about this issue in general. Because it's the Second Amendment. And as far as I'm concerned, it's an all or nothing. You take the good and the bad. Same thing with the First Amendment. It's freedom of speech. That means there are some people that are going to spew retarded. I'm sorry, that's words offensive today. I retract that. There are people that find that.
What happened to no rules?
No, well, I mean, I'm not trying to be offensive to, or not in that manner. The point being, part of freedom of speech is that there are going to be people who are going to say things that you don't want to hear, but you should not have the right to muzzle them because it's freedom of speech. And if the Second Amendment is the freedom to bear arms, which means likelihood there's going to be some problems that are going to come from that. But the overall picture is that it is a very good thing for our nation. So it's an all or nothing, because anytime you chip away at that, you're chipping away at the foundation of our Constitution. So whatever laws they create, like I'm not for it. Has it turned into or have people blamed like mass shootings due to our gun laws? Well, I don't necessarily buy into that, but they can blame that. But I'm sitting here on the other end of it going, no country on this planet is going to invade America because we're armed.
Well, I mean, that definitely contributes.
That's a big contributing factor.
Right. But I mean, we also have the biggest military. So
no, I get that. But we could, when it comes to coming here to our soil, it's not about our military. They know this nation is an armed nation and we value our gun rights. So the likelihood that anybody is going to come here and try and invade this country, like, it ain't happening. But that's not the only reason for the Second Amendment. Like, the Founding Fathers wrote the Second Amendment in there to not only protect us from invading nations, to protect us from evils inside of our own nation.
Yep.
And again, it's an all or nothing. And I mean, as a union rep, people were like, why are you arguing this issue? Because if I don't argue it here while it's small, it'll snowball, and then I'll be arguing with a much bigger issue because I didn't nip it in the bud here. So I'm all for it.
This is where we disagree. But yes, carrying handguns, everybody should be able to carry a handgun. Unless you're a felon, then there's a reason for you not to carry one.
And that's just said.
But as it gets into assault weapons, there's a debate to be had there. But for handguns, everybody should carry.
Well, but the thing is when you say that there's a debate to be had there, I'm like, one, I'll give it. The laws were written when assault weapons didn't exist. So I get that. But on the other end of it, no. It's the Second Amendment. It's the right to bear arms. Okay, well, obviously those arms have developed and been refined over the years and the generations, but it doesn't matter. I'm sitting here going, I still look at it as an all or nothing, because as soon as you allow a middle ground, well, then you're opening the door to allow another middle ground, and you're opening the door to allow another middle ground, and then before you know it, they've weakened the actual amendment to the point that they can wipe it out because you kept letting them take little inches. So I look at, you take the good and the bad with everything, because guns don't kill people, people kill people. And it wouldn't matter. A crazy person will just as soon stab you with a fork as pull a trigger. And if a criminal wants a gun, that's the black market. It doesn't matter. They're going to get the gun anyway. And the registration is nothing more than the government tracking you. And I'm like, no, I'm happy to say, even though I do have my permit, I do exercise my permit. I'm like, I bought 2 guns in the last year and a half. It was relatively easy to obtain those handguns. I'm like, should be.
He bought another colleague a handgun, but he didn't buy me a handgun.
Jeez.
That's not fair again. Why, man, it's just like, I get attacked for...
This is just bringing up a lot of sad moments for me.
Oh my Lord.
I know.
This is like, and I'm not going down this rabbit hole because
we kind of wanted to go down that rabbit
no,
hole.
I know you do know that, but he talks shit, but he is highly taken care of. He is very much appreciated. He is very taken care of. That's like, the woe is me. I'm like, I can't believe that this is coming out of his mouth. But I mean, no vacation, no, like, I don't know. Matt can take a vacation whenever Matt wants to take a vacation. Now, as the chief technology officer, does his phone ring quite a bit when the team and the operations have problems? Yeah,
I get it.
but that's
So back to
like Rebecca said. It's when he took the day off. I don't know why he kept answering his phone. He took the day off because. You said you took the day off, and then you
stop calling him.
Huh? Yeah, what? You want me to coordinate 80 people and be like, on this day, do not call Matt?
Yes.
Yeah,
I did.
Mass text.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, but why don't? I mean, generally, can't you set like something on your phone that automatically sends this out that says
When 20 people start messaging you, you start thinking there's a problem.
Oh well, I mean doesn't it feel good to feel needed?
No. Does that island have cell service?
Wow.
That's a good idea to.
Okay, so I mean, generally speaking, I have weighed in when it comes to my own thoughts and feelings on his headline.
So come on, Matt.
Anybody else have anything they want to say on it?
Matt, I don't feel like Matt really continued.
Well, no, I guess we can end it there. It's fine.
Well, no,
I was just going to talk about the pros and the cons of that, like, because at first you're going to see a huge spike in gun violence because a lot of people who shouldn't have guns
are going to get guns.
Yes. And then people are going to kill them, which then becomes a statistic. But afterwards, it will then lower.
Yes, I think I agree with that. Like,
How do you feel, Trish?
I think I'm going to go get
I have a
lot more
permit, and if you fuck with me, I'll shoot the shit out of you. So
Right.
It's whatever.
It's cool.
I told you I made it clear a long time ago. I was like, you would not want to meet this woman in a dark alley. She will fuck you up. That's
I'm from the hood. I'll shoot the shit out of you. No
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've seen some shit.
Somebody get kidnapped on a Tuesday.
wow.
I see nothing. I don't know who you were, where you came from, or anything about it.
Okay, so I have my headline. I need to switch up and go to my alternative.
I will
headline.
laugh if your alternative is what my alternative was.
I know that will be crazy.
I mean, and don't get me wrong. I mean,
I feel
because
like it is though.
because it needs to be talked about. But I'm like,
It is. Here we go.
Seattle Starbucks location unanimously
Just kidding.
votes
No, it's not.
in favor of unionizing, a first for the company's hometown. They have brought Howard Schultz back to try and intervene in this.
Did you leave?
Well, see, here's the thing with Schultz, and I want to be clear. Because on a local level, technically Starbucks is my competition. I have nothing bad to say about Starbucks. I have read the books on Starbucks. I've read the books on Howard Schultz. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the man. But the point is, every time Howard Schultz has stepped away from the CEO position, the business has started to go down because he built it. I don't want to say he's the founder. If you know the entire story, he stepped into a small little roastery that was at the time Starbucks and saw what it could be on the retail level and blew it up into what it is today. But I want to say 2 or 3 times now, he has stepped down as CEO and tried to install somebody else as CEO. And when he was talking about making his independent run, he was not CEO of Starbucks at the time. He obviously, the man's a multi-billionaire. So the point being, we've gotten to a point where you literally have a chain of freaking coffee shops voting to unionize, which I think is absurd.
I think they should unionize.
I guess I would like to hear, like I said, I come from the UAW. I am in no way at all anti-union. I believe wholeheartedly in the union for a very specific set of reasons.
Keep going.
And they have a lot to do with health and safety and workers' rights for their work environment. But I know what the work environment is inside of a $500,000 to $1 million Starbucks location. So I know that their work environment is not oppressive. They are not working, like I said, working inside of the plants. That was the whole thing. Like Henry Ford, did a lot of good things, but he also did a lot of shady shit too. And back then he was forcing people into 50, 60, 70, 80-hour work weeks in absolutely inhumane conditions. And that is what brought in the unions.
My office?
Huh? Oh my God! Here we go.
I was gonna say it, but you
God.
beat me to it.
Jeez.
My office
You
has
mean
no
your
heating.
closet.
Yeah,
That is so. This is again.
It has no ceiling.
The same way. There we go. It has no walls, while the rest of the building is heated. But he just. This is so not fair. The point.
You asked for this.
The point is, I want to, because the thing is I read an earlier headline that part of this whole crutch that they were saying about this, when one of the first Starbucks voted to unionize, is because the employees were pissed that Starbucks literally wanted to allow customers to walk inside, and the Starbucks employees feared for their life because of COVID, and they were putting them in harm's way by actually having to serve customers face to face, and that's why they were voting to unionize. And I thought, what a crock of shit. And I'm still very much leaning towards the what a crock of shit, that I'm like, I'm still having, I read the whole article, and the whole thing was again, that they were bringing Schultz in because the man was very loved for the company and the business that he built. And the dude is a very empathetic, humane, like he built a company that he is proud of. And generally, that company is a very left-leaning company. And obviously, the man does not want his company to be unionized. And I fail to understand why a Starbucks barista that makes coffee feels the need to unionize, because I know firsthand the pitfalls of what comes with unionization. And there's going to be negotiations that are going to drag on forever. And they're not going to get their damn $15 or $20 an hour wage that those unions are promising them just to make coffee. It's not going to happen like that.
You said this was Washington, right?
Seattle. I mean, there are.
So, I mean, they're already at 15.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I mean, the when you're trying to unionize, you're making promises that you can't achieve. That there does come down to what can the load bear. But I've long said they keep screwing around with this hyperinflation. We're going to be looking at $10 cup of coffee. Well, if the union was able to negotiate the contract, because most of them that I've seen, they're unrealistic in their expectations. Well, if they were to achieve that, then between Starbucks unionizing and hyperinflation, we will be looking at $10 cup of coffee before too long. But I am a big believer that, and you know what, I guess in some of this piece of it does apply. I said that when a company is so big that you become just a number, then you have to wonder, is that company taking care of its employees?
There we go. That's the line I was waiting for you to say.
Well, but the point is that to my generalized understanding, Starbucks takes care of their people pretty well. I mean, they say that they give them all insurance. I know that shit's a joke, because I know a lot of companies play that game. They'll say that they offer insurance,
I can tell you from my corporate experience, there's a lot of insurance that they offer you.
Yeah, they say that it's insurance, but it's not.
It's insurance only in name.
Exactly. There we go. We'll go with that, because I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But the point is, I don't exactly know what they expect to achieve. But if the unionization efforts have been on big bad Starbucks is actually making you wait on customers face to face, and you don't have a safe, healthy work environment because of COVID, well, that's stupid. I mean, if that's what they're hanging their hat on, I'm just being honest about it. That's a level of ridiculousness that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And it's still, I go back to on that issue, until I see a leader talking about your legitimate health, and until I see leadership talking about you taking vitamins and minerals to boost your immune system, everything out of their mouth is fucking garbage. So if that's the issue they're hanging their hat on why they should be unionizing, because you're actually being forced to wait on customers face to face, that's a dumb argument. But I'm as far as I know, Starbucks has 15,000 locations. And they've succeeded in getting roughly half a dozen of them to vote. And so I'm sitting there going, they're doing this locationally. That shit don't fly. UAW, that ain't flying. You vote that shit in, it's in. All the plants, everybody's unionized. They're all locals, but there's an international. And I'm honestly, all Starbucks got 15,000 locations. They could be you 6 voted to unionize. Closed. Anybody else want to vote for unionization? I'm thinking that they can give up a couple stores.
Are you trying to make a good argument?
No,
here?
I'm again balanced.
You need a union.
I'm talking about I'm talking about all sides, because I'm willing to have the conversation, but I have yet to hear of a legitimate argument as to why. I don't see. I'm coming from a union background, and I believe in unions. I really do. That not for everybody, but there is a purpose for a union. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to back me into a corner. I'm not a union loyalist where I'll say that the whole country should be unionized. I think that's a horrible idea. When you were talking about health and safety, hey, I've been saying that for a while. We have a State of the Union address, but the point is that there there's corruption in everything. In everything of power, there's corruption. So
rest in peace, Hoffa.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you're gonna empower that, but I'm well, what's the gain to the people? what is it that they are promising the people that they are going to gain? Because they're making promises to get the yes votes about like politicians, which always end up in lies, because I ain't never seen a coffee shop unionized, and you don't make that damn much money selling coffee. So exactly what is it the union thinks that they're going to extract for those workers to continue making coffee, but somehow go, man, I'm glad I voted this union in. I'm failing to see it. Benefits. Like, so.
Real benefits?
You think you'll get real benefits?
I mean, I have no idea. I don't work for Starbucks or a union, but if I worked for a union, I would want benefits.
Exactly.
I mean,
and Schultz got the money.
I mean, the one Schultz saying that, I mean, obviously he's back into CEO now. It comes down to Starbucks themselves literally having the money.
They got the money too.
But they're also the same people that voted for Obamacare, and all of those people are able to achieve Obamacare.
Not at $15 an hour, you're not. No. Obamacare only helps you for making under $15 an hour.
Oh, so it's a cake and eat it too thing.
Yeah, we just need actual insurance that people can afford. Medicare, Medicaid for all.
Well, I mean, I don't. That's a whole deeper conversation. But I will say that that's part of the it's a handcuff thing, because when you're not allowed to sell insurance across state lines, we're in America, and here you are stifling competition. And part of the problem with insurance is that it is stacked against all of us, and it's stacked in their favor. They're the house, and since the government won't allow competition across state lines, you're not actually getting those services and those costs driven down. They've only gotten more expensive.
But obviously there's a reason that they feel like they need to unionize.
And that's what again, the only legitimate piece of information that I've seen was, I want to say it was in New York or Buffalo, where the employees were voting to unionize because they were pissed about having to literally do their fucking job and wait on customers in the middle of COVID. And I was like,
well, I mean, I think that's just using COVID, since everybody else is using COVID.
Yeah.
So us frontline workers are going to use COVID whenever it's to our benefit.
Okay.
Since we had to work through it and got none of the perks of anything, that all the handouts that were passed out.
Oh no! But all those handouts were passed out to other countries. They didn't stay
exactly.
here. But it's the CARES. They CARES.
If the government's like COVID, spend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be number one on my list, COVID.
Exactly. I feel like that's exactly why they are using that as their backer for
it's
the
whole
hot
union.
Button. Yeah, it's the hot button. Yeah.
Well, and don't get me wrong, because I'm not, again, just because they're unionized, now you have to set up a representation structure. Now you have to actually go sit down and negotiate, and you could very well find out that
I'll go negotiate for you.
That does not mean, I understand, but it doesn't mean that you're going to walk away with anything more.
But you ain't going to walk away with any less.
You want to bet?
No.
You don't get it. That's what's great, because you got to think about this. That
your mentality is going to be the same as Schultz. Be like, oh, store closed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm sitting there going. Let's be a realist. Let's look at this. You fight too hard, and the man has 15,000 locations. He can give up a location. You fought too hard. I tried to be and again, I don't want to take what he felt is fair. You fought too hard. Negotiations over. Store closed.
And to me, that's the exact reason they're trying to unionize, because that's the threat. Be like, you push me too far. Fuck it. I don't need you. Close the store.
Well, because that's what I'm saying.
But you can't do that to all 15,000.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I mean, if they stand their ground, then he ain't going to close them all.
No, and don't get me wrong, because that's what I'm saying, is that this in particular union is sitting here seeing money and power in all of this, because they're thinking about putting themselves on the map if they were to be able to extract union dues from all of the employees from 15,000 locations, if they were actually successful in converting. But we're only at a half a dozen, and so I mean, they got a long way to go before they actually.
Somewhere.
Well, they did, but that's what I'm saying.
Power to the people.
Starbucks made a very prudent move by bringing Schultz back in, because the man really. I mean, he is he's beloved inside of that organization. I mean, he literally. I mean, I know that it took a whole lot of people, but it took a whole lot of people with that man's vision. That's why I said I don't competing with them or not. I ain't got a bad word to say about them or him. I got all the respect in the world for that man. And that's where I said, knowing him and looking at him, I'm like, that is just not a dude that I would ever think that there would be somebody on an opposing side going, we need to unionize. Like that, it just, he definitely
There's
was.
more you don't know.
No, I don't. You're exactly right. I'm just, that's what I said, is that I come from a union background and I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't know that there will truly be any type of benefit that will come out of this. Politics will come out of it. Headlines will come out of it. Lies will be found out. Promises that cannot be achieved will be made. Will anything good come out of this? I don't know. I guess only time will actually tell.
Hold out. Go for the union. You might lose your job, but Coffee Junkies will be there soon enough.
I was about to say, you know what? I mean, he closes down a store in the right place. I'm gonna be like,
Give us a call.
That's
But we're not union.
no, but we're not. We don't.
Either.
Well, but again, I come back to that where I'm like, everything is about the people. You take care of your people, and if you take care of your people, you don't need a union in the middle of it. And that's the whole point. Unions get in the middle of it when companies quit taking care of their people, when they quit respecting that it's the people's labor that is allowing you to execute your vision. Like, I will never be in a place of needing a union in my organization because, like, I know where I said this before. I'm not self-made. I'm an autodidact. I am self-educated. Because the education system had nothing to offer me, and that light bulb went off in my head, and everything that I know, it's like it's because I have educated myself. But I'm not self-made. It took all of you and the roughly at this point 80 people that are spread across the operations and the organizations in general to for us to be where we are today. I couldn't have done all that myself, and we're still. I would say that the foundational blocks are about laid. It's time to start building some pillars. But my point is, it took a whole lot more people than me to build that foundation, and I'll never lose sight of that. It was a question of, I was like, do I want to call myself a blue-collar entrepreneur? And I'm like, I don't know. It's more of a blue-collar laborer turned entrepreneur. But I'm definitely like a blue jean entrepreneur. I would like to keep myself grounded. I don't want to forget where I came from. And I definitely do not want to forget the people that have helped me get there and helped us grow this business. Coffee Junkies and Pizza Junkies will never need a union. I don't know. He's got something to blast. I mean, this is where the blaster part comes in. No, not at all. Okay.
I'll let it go this time.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Wow. Well, I would say that we're going to wrap this up. This would conclude the off the rails segment, and I do got to admit, I think that we all kind of played nice. I think that that's where say. Would you agree?
I missed the question. Somebody was kicking me and trying to mouth work.
I know. Dawn's doing it again. She did this to me at a previous podcast that just totally caused a brain fart.
I enjoyed myself today. A lot of people came to my defense on multiple topics.
Yes, we did. We got your back, Matt.
Thank you.
Wow.
Glad somebody.
No.
Somebody does.
I see where this is going. I mean, that's what I said. Now, I'm what I see is division here, and that's not good. I mean,
and I didn't even do it.
I would feel. You did actually.
I'd feel a lot better. I was like, we're gonna get him on this one.
Oh. Okay, we are going to wrap up this podcast episode of Off the Rails. I'm sure we will be back with many more episodes while staying true to our entrepreneurial chronicles. I have really enjoyed interviewing some of these small businesses, and I will definitely be. That's what the focus is. I just wanted to make sure that we could have some fun with it, and we could bring some other topics of conversations to light in general. But if you liked it, or if you got any kind of laughs. I don't know that you learned anything in this. Although, I mean, honestly, you should have like learned of some world headlines out there. But
people in Indiana are now all carrying guns. Matty Ice is now a cult.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
You can get an island.
Yeah.
And Jason will shut you down if you decide to unionize.
I will never be in a position of my people wanting or needing to unionize, because I will never forget the people that are responsible for it all. Okay, please comment, share, like. I mean, I want to, as a guy, I want to build shit, and I want to see just how much I can build this podcast, because every day it is becoming a whole lot more fun doing it. So please, definitely comment, rate, and share the show. But until next time, you guys have a good night.